All right. Um, Reading a little bit more from Terence McKenna's Food of the Gods. Um, I tried to do a video on chapter two. Chapter two is very boring, personally boring, and it's talking a lot about mushrooms and plants and giving the scientific names for them. Um, Found it very hard to go through in the space of 40 minutes. A lot of words I don't understand. Anyway, so I'm not doing that. It's a waste of time. Um, I go on to chapter 3. And again, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. It's literally not worth my while. Uh, um, Notice some very interesting things, or something that struck me very strongly towards the end. Now, throughout the chapter, he makes various assumptions and various things. You have to just take his word for it. You have to take his word for what he's talking about. And for example, at one point, he's talking about um, the men going out and hunting, and it was the women who discovered agriculture. The women discovered how to grow plants and how to create agriculture, and this is where the kind of goddess thing comes from. Where he's getting this from is anybody's guess. He's just coming out of his head. I can't prove that a man or a woman planted something in the ground 30,000 years ago. There's no way of proving this. I know the whole thing with the goddess culture in Greece and the models of the goddess and everything. Anyway, towards the end of the chapter 3, and like I say, this might be the last video I do on this because it's taken so long, and it's a very slippery snake. It's very hard to pick apart. We come to a very very interesting point in the book. Subheading in chapter 3 towards the end. Contrasts in sexual politics. Here we go. I thought as I read it for the first time. Here we go. And he's already, throughout the previous 3 chapters, or the previous 2.5 chapters, this is chapter 3, he's constantly bigging up this idea of the goddess, the partnership society, the holy feminine, and the dominator culture, male. He's already males and females like positive and negative plugged sockets on the wall. He's already pushing this idea, and that he's into the feminine. He's into the divine feminine. Several important contrasts emerge from a comparison of the ego-based dominator society, that's men, and the non-rigid, psychologically unbounded partnership society, that's women. Much diminished in the partnership model is the proprietary attitude of men toward women that is so centrally a part of the dominator model. Men are just bad. Other men, not Terence, other men. Less prominent as well is the tendency for women to seek extended commitment to pair bonding from men in the pursuit of security and vicarious social ranking. Family organisation is not rigid and hierarchical. Children are raised by an extended family of cousins and siblings, aunts and uncles, and former and current sexual partners of their parents. In such a milieu, a child has many different relationships and a variety of role models. Can anyone see where this is going yet? Group values are not usually at odds with that of the individual or his or her mate and children. Adolescent sexual experimentation is expected and encouraged. Let's just repeat that. Adolescent sexual experimentation is expected and encouraged. Couples may bond for any number of reasons related to themselves and the welfare of the groups. Such bonding may be, but is not necessarily, lifelong. Sexuality is rarely taboo in such societies, only becoming so as a result of contact with dominator values. In dominator society, men tend to choose sexual partners who are young, healthy, and capable of bearing many children. Well, you're not going to choose an old partner to bear many children. That's nothing to do with choice, that's like how things are. And the strategy of women within a dominator society is often to bond with an older man who, by being in control of group resources, and then it says in brackets, food, land, or other women, debatable, could ensure that a woman's worth won't be devalued as she becomes older and passes out of her childbearing years. In the ideal partnership society, older men may have sexual relations with younger women, but without threatening the bonds that have been formed with older women. However, women are not driven to seek reproductive security under the protection of older men. This situation arose because power did not lie exclusively with ageing and powerful males. Rather, power was distributed between men and women and through all age groups. Ultimate power in such societies was the power to create and sustain life, and so was naturally imaged, he means imagined, as female, the power of the great goddess. We're getting onto the money shot in one paragraph. Jean Baker Miller pointed out that the so-called need to control and dominate others is psychologically a function not of a feeling of power, but of a feeling of powerlessness. I'm guessing this is some psychologist or something who's like got, just some theory behind her. Him or her. Distinguishing between power for oneself and power over others, she writes, in a basic sense, the greater the development of each individual, the more able, more effective, and less needy of limiting or restricting others she or he will be. Okay. Okay. I jump forward a bit. Never mind. I've had 2 beers. Okay, he's talking about ibogaine, a psychoactive substance called ibogaine. Paradoxically, ibogaine, the indole hallucinogen responsible for the pharmacological activity of the Bwiti plant, is widely recognised both as a factor holding married couples together in the face of Fang institutions, this is a tribe in Africa, like easy divorce and as an aphrodisiac. It is perhaps one of the few plants of the many dozens claimed to be aphrodisiacs that actually performs as advertised. Many other candidates for the title are in fact merely stimulants that can cause a generalised arousal and sustained erection. Here we go. Ibogaine seems actually to change, to deepen and to enhance the psychological mechanisms that lie behind sexual drive. One experiences a simultaneous sense of detachment and involvement that is empowering in the sexual act, taking this drug. Yet in situations where sexual activity is neither sanctioned nor appropriate, ibogaine does not cause or even raise the possibility of sexual behaviour. In these situations, it functions much as ayahuasca functions among its traditional users, as a boundary dissolving visionary hallucinogen. Here is another example of research only waiting for social attitudes to change in order to be done. Taking this plant and shagging. Another example of research only waiting, we're just waiting for social attitudes to change in order for research to be done. If the impact of ibogaine on sexual dysfunction is found to be congruent with its folklore, then further research might be especially promising. And there you have it. We're 66 pages in, page number 66. And as soon as I'm reading this paragraph as the preceding, the page before, but when I'm reading this paragraph, as far as my dominator mind is concerned, all bets are off, right? All bets are off. This is Jimmy Saville, this is Russell Brand, this is anyone, this is a horn dog writing. It's a horn dog. I'm thinking now of the backstory of Terence McKenna, the backstory of he was travelling across Asia. I'm thinking this guy, he's travelling across Asia. Oh wow, shamanism, man, this stuff's interesting. If I could set myself up as a shamanistic guru, I could get a bit of game here. This could be my game. There's a lot of girls going to be interested in this kind of stuff. Psychoactive substances. And if you take this psychoactive substances, we could do some research into sexual exploration, see if we can dissolve the boundaries any further. I mean, I might have a few dudes who latch on to it, but some of those dudes, they might be able to get in with me so long as they realize that I'm going to be the person that gets the first choice of the ladies. This is the guy who's been telling you all about dominator culture, how bad it is. But hey, he's got some game going on here. There's some sexual experimentation that could be going on. You might have your partner, but he's a dominator partner. I could be a partner. A partnership society where we take the plants and we see where what happens. We can experiment with this stuff. It's Jimmy Saville. This is Jimmy Saville. Jimmy Saville, Russell Brand. Same old story. Who's the other guy? Who's the other guy? 1 second, let me find it. Shit, maybe I threw it away. Maybe I think I took it over the road. Oh, here it is. This guy, Pinchbeck, got me too'd. One of McKenna's little friends. But whereas he's intellectual, this one's like reading, you know, the chapters are like 2.5 pages long. It's like reading the EasyJet in-flight magazine. Hey, I went here, I did this stuff. Oh my God, I'm spiritual. I'm going to tell you all about it. Got me too'd. This creep. Who the fuck would have their promo photograph like that? Smoke motherfucker. I saw that cunt in a nightclub once. It's the same old shit repeating again and again. You don't need to be a genius. I could get some game here. I'm going to start talking about sexuality, sexual exploration with the plants. Game over.